This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Still Austin Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a new rye blend called The Musician, first in a series because music has the ability to bring us all closer together, to make us feel more free and alive, just like great whiskey. Still Austin, owned locally, distilled in Austin, 100% Texas.
Amarillo Rocks, how's it going, guys? This week we've got Amarillo metal sensation Corrosive Wrath.
What's up? What's going on, guys?
How's it going, fellas?
Doing well, man.
Oh,
Doing well.
Yeah. Breathing.
Yeah. So y'all are kind of a new band on the scene, right? Played a couple of shows though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we've
Handful.
done what? Three now, something like that.
Yeah.
3 to 5. 3 to 5.
Yeah.
3 to 5.
That depends on whether you count like private stuff as a show.
Yeah.
We have a couple.
We have some people come
Some
over.
shows, man. Still performing
Some
in front of
sessions,
people.
some performances.
You get paid in money or beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Beer.
Right on.
You always get paid.
So let's introduce everybody. What's your name?
Rob.
Rob? Is it just Rob? We'll just go by Rob.
All the Rob.
All Rob?
That's the Wojciechowski.
I am Shiloh.
Shiloh?
And I'm Kenny.
Kenny?
B, the bassist.
What do you do?
I play bass, man.
Play bass?
I slap at the bass.
Slapping a bass?
And
Nice.
sings.
Yeah. Rob?
Oh yeah. I'm
I
helping with
play
vocals.
guitar
Yeah.
and do vocals, and I do all the production,
Oh, no shit, huh?
recording,
Okay.
all that stuff.
All right, well, I guess that leaves this guy.
Yeah, that leaves me. I am percussion. I do perform samples as well, and possibly some vocals here.
Nice. So is there anybody in the band that's not here?
Yeah, our keyboard player Mike.
Oh, okay.
He's feeling a little under the weather today.
Well, fuck you up, Mike.
Yeah.
Right on.
Shout out to you, homie.
Yeah.
We love you, man.
He's taking it easy.
Get well soon, man.
Well, so tell us a little bit about how it got started. You know, I've listened to it. It's very heavy. It's badass. Very, very tight production, by the way. It's
I really appreciate that, man.
And by the way, guys, we are going to be doing a release here on Amarillo Rocks of a new song called Soul Prison. So stay tuned for that here in a minute. So, kind of tell me how everybody got together.
I guess I really can't get it out without mentioning that we all kind of met through Seidel,
Right?
you know, and whatever happened with that, but then we all kind of just vibed and decided we wanted to start a new project, something a little different, a little heavier, and that was that, man.
Heavier than Seidel.
Blast beats and double bass,
Yeah.
more of that stuff. But
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not heavier, maybe heavier. Was
I like the way
probably-
Seidel had a swing to it, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
for
it.
sure,
yeah.
That was
no
cool.
doubt.
I
We
met
love
Rob
those
through
guys.
Seidel. I was performing drums for Seidel for the last previous albums, so I knew Jeff, I knew Killface, Trey, and
I guess that was really how we met. Is I recorded the last Seidel album.
Well, no, so I do recognize you. The fucker set his drums on fire.
Yes.
Or Sills, yeah. we
me.
played this. Was it that Rock 108 Next to Rock Finals, like in
Yes,
2017, something like
Yes,
that?
sir.
We played that show with you guys.
we did 2 of those, and we did really
Yeah.
everyone in that scene was locked in. They knew what they wanted to do, and they were all badass performances. I remember y'all's performance was killer.
No,
So.
thanks, man.
But
fun
yeah,
time.
so the idea for that was I ended up having a little drum bag, and my dad ended up pulling some extra tools in it, and I ended up finding a lighter fluid bottle in there. And I'm like, why on earth would this be in there? And we did the performance, and I'm like, I want to do something nutty.
Fire!
And I remember going up, and I talked to the venue, and I was like, okay, so is it cool if I do one kind of controlled but somewhat slightly sketchy thing? And they were like, what the hell would that be? And I was like, okay, so I have it planned to where I'm going to put a very thin layer around my cymbal of lighter fluid and then light it on fire and then just let it go. And they were like, have you done this before? I was like, yeah, I have.
Are you a professional?
Yeah.
Is there a fire marshal outside?
Yeah, exactly. And I told the guys, and they were like, that'd be cool, but what'd they say? And I was like, they're all for it as long as we can get it down. And we did it that night, and I kind of did it after, and it was kind of a staple of mine. But I have learned that being pyro can also set stuff on fire you don't want.
No shit.
So I've kind of toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, don't want a Great White situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, God. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was wild. Okay, so some of you guys start off with Seidel. Now, Kenny, what's your story?
Rob and I met whenever I was a vocalist for Nothing in Vain, and he came and tried out for us, and we sucked before we got Rob.
Right.
Before we got Rob, dude, we blew ass. We hadn't even played the show yet. We were looking for a guitarist because we needed more flair. And Rob and our homie Dingo, they came and tried out, and Rob walks in there with his dreads, and I asked Rob, I said, "Man, you like to drink beer?" He said, "Hell yeah."
And we've been best friends ever since.
And now he drinks White Claw and Twisted Tea.
Oh man!
Hey, I'll drink anything under
You
the
know, when
sun.
I had this in my hand, I was like, "Tooley's gonna ride on me for the White Claw, dude." But,
We all learned that Twisted
but I
Tea
can't.
can
My
be
stomach
lethal.
just can't take regular beer
Yeah,
anymore,
it's all-
man.
it's
I have
alcohol.
to.
Hey,
I
man,
got no choice.
I got no room to talk shit. I'm drinking light beer these days.
There you go,
I've
man.
had my share of the Claw.
Does it get you drunk?
I mean,
Yeah.
It gets you drunk.
that's not a healthy way to approach it, Rob. It
That's the only
takes
way.
the edge off, so to speak.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I take my
Way
edge
off.
way off, way off.
Cool. Well, hey, what time? So when did y'all get together? Like,
I
how
was
long's
back
been
in
together?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah, me and
Pre-pandemic.
And
I was still doing Sidle stuff, and after the last album, we all disbanded. There was just the pandemic hit so hard, and we were just so stressed, and there was moments to where the band was kind of affected by that. Certain members were affected by another member, and it was just a big deal. But we came up with the album. Rob finished the mix for us, and it was a really big deal for us. It was a big album, that last album, Gospels of Gore, for us.
Yeah.
And we released it, and we were going to be playing shows for it, and then slowly after, everybody just kind of split on their own ways.
So when did we decide to actually start getting together?
I kind of took a little break after everybody disbanded. It was pretty much me and Jeff, and we were talking to Rob about playing guitars with us, and we were just looking for bass. So shortly after, I told Jeff, "Hey man, I'm going to take a break," and I told everybody I'm taking a break from music for a little while. I just need to get my head right, because it was a big deal for us.
Oh yeah.
And but slowly but surely, I was missing it, and they started hitting me up and saying, "Hey, we kind of want to see if you want to come back and jam. No rush, just whenever you're ready." And I got to the point, I was like, "You know what? Okay, yeah, I'll go out there." And we started jamming with Rob, and then Kenny showed up, and at that time, we were actually, this lineup before Mike showed up was going to be the new Sidle lineup. And we promoted it that way, we talked to Jeff about that way, and then just creative differences happen within the new lineup. It's a different style than what Sidle was. Sidle very much had that rap and nu metal aspect, and that's how everybody clicked. And when I joined their drummer left right before the first album, and I talked to him, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? I'm interested if y'all want me to come out." And they were like, "Well, you want to record with us? Because we like what we hear." And I did 2 great albums with them, and everything just kind of split up on its own ways, and I still have mad respect for all of them. They're all jamming and doing their own things. Trey, the bass player, is playing with Trench right now.
Oh yeah.
With the Klaus kids.
Shout out Trey.
What's up, Trey
yes.
Green?
Yeah.
He's playing with Trench Rat, with the Stevie and Josh, and Christian Viano. Love those guys. Mad respect to those guys. Killface is doing a solo project now called Sidian.
Yeah.
And I
He
enjoy
was in
it.
Wellington.
And of course, Jeff's got Jeffrey Neurotic,
Yeah.
his project, and he's got mad stuff happening. So
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love all three. There's no.
So
bad
what was
blood
that
for
like
all of it.
6? When did we decide on the name? That's pretty
Yeah.
much when it became a band. What was that like
For-
6 months ago?
Yeah, just
Something?
here
Yeah, we didn't
recently.
have a name when we started.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was
Because
when we
had
started.
Sidle. We were still at Sidle at that moment.
Yeah.
And
It's so
That's what
hard to
happened.
come up with an original band name.
Yes,
And
that
so-
took us a very
Yeah.
long time.
And that's, so like, I looked it up. That doesn't exist anywhere else.
The more
I used the internet.
we googled so many names.
Yeah.
We had a huge list of really good names, and all of them were taken. Actually, Kenny is like a master of coming up with band names, because like I said, I kept coming up with names, and I thought they were good. I was like, this is a good name. This is another one. And like we had a whole list, and like every single one that I came up with was taken. Kenny came up with like
Ukraine band,
maybe
Russia.
3 names, And like the third one, we were like, yep, that's it.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, see, one night when we were with Corrosive Wrath, or not Corrosive, I'm sorry, but Nothing in Vain.
He
trying to
came
figure
up
out
with
the
that name
of
too.
That one.
Yep.
There was another band named that already, but they weren't. They had nothing out. They were not
And like hadn't been
together
active for
anymore.
like 5-6 years,
Um,
something like that. So
We spent one whole night just trying to figure out, and we were spitballing. I was just throwing ideas out and out. And
He's
out.
good-
Even
he's
if they're
good at
retarded, like it's whatever pops in your mind. Just try and the more bullshit you put out, guaranteed to find something.
find that gold in the bullshit.
Yeah, sift through the crap to get to the good shit.
It's kind of a funny story. It's like I think Metallica did that, and they decided that was the worst name in the list, and that's what they went with. Things like that. And of course,
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. Right on. So about 6 months. Corrosive Wrath got how many songs? So you got some stuff out on Spotify now, right?
Nothing.
Nothing's out
This
there
is
yet.
our first single.
This will be
Okay,
the debut
is the
so
first one.
what you're going to be seeing here is the first internet release of a Corrosive Wrath song. So that's fucking huge, guys. And you saw it here on Amarillo Rocks first.
Six, baby.
Sir.
All right, we'll get to that here in a minute. All right. So, how long have you guys been playing music? Rob, how long have you been playing?
Oh man, I have been playing 20 years probably since the very beginning of high school. I actually got into music first as a vocalist. I was in a creative writing class, and a buddy of mine had a band, so I was just like I had to write poetry for this creative writing class. So I was like, well, I'm going to write like death metal lyrics. you
Nice.
know? And so I showed them to him, and I was like, hey, maybe you could like use this for your band or whatever. And he's like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, I really like the lyrics, but we don't have a singer. I'm like, well, good luck with that. It's like, and he's like, no, you should come and sing, dude. And I'm like, I had never sung anything in my whole fucking life. Had no idea what to do. And he's like, no, you gotta come. My buddy George. And so I got up the fucking gumption and the balls to go and hang out with them, and they jammed out, and eventually they're like all looking at me, are you gonna do something? And I was like, okay, and I started yelling. And I yelled the lyrics that I had. And it was terrible. It was a horrible, horrible band. In fact, we were so bad that we decided to name ourselves Excrement. Because that way, if anyone was like, you guys fucking suck, you're shitty. Well, dude, the band name is Excrement. It's literally shit, so we know. Thank you. So,
Fuck yeah.
and they actually, George gave me my first guitar. He had an extra one laying around, a shitty Fender Squier. I was like, dude, you should let me borrow that guitar. I'll like try to come up with riffs. No idea how to play guitar. Could not play 4 notes consecutively without fucking up. But I always tell everyone, like, I absolutely had no natural talent. Everything that I can do today is hard-earned from just putting my nose down and grinding.
Right.
You know?
Sir.
And grind he does,
that's-
man.
yeah.
I've seen that shit.
So that's where we're at.
Fucking A. Okay. That's cool. So, with like 20 years, about 1 year for every inch of dread, maybe.
Something like that.
Hell
Something
yeah.
like that.
All right.
I started my dreads probably.
Nice. That's awesome. Shiloh, what's your story?
I've been playing drums pretty much most of my life. As a little kid, I always had my parents give me toy drums and toy instruments, and I tell people that my first snare drum was a little Price Toys R Us little snare, and I beat the living shit out of that thing when I was a kid. So there was always that want of learning to play the drums, and I guess if I can start here locally in town, I started playing right out of high school. Graduated from Tascosa here, and
Alright.
Yeah.
Same here.
Tascosa, baby.
yep, I'm
Fucking
a
rebels.
rebel, yes sir. And I wanted to play percussion in band a lot, but they didn't have any room for it. So when it came to presenting myself as a drummer, I started off with my brother, who's a very talented guitarist. His name's Shay, and we started a band back in the War Legion and and Rec Room days, and we went by the name of Age of Heresy. And that
I remember that. Yeah.
And
I
went
remember
around
that
for
too,
a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went around for a while. There was a lot of lineup changes. I left the band shortly before we were actually planning on recording. There was some creative differences and some stuff that happened, and we're all cool. We squashed all that.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was just kind of salty about it, so I left.
That's another way of saying, fuck you, man. No, fuck you.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's always what it is.
Yeah. But shortly after, I kind of took a break, and I knew a couple of different musicians around town, including Rob. I knew Rob way back then, and that's how I met Trey, and because he played with Age of Heresy for a short time. And then I knew Trey through his Lamb of God cover band way back in the day.
Had a Lamb of God cover band?
He was in a Lamb of God cover band with
That's
Christian
awesome.
Van Note. The guitarist's name was John Kaiser, and I was very close friends with him. And shortly after they disbanded, John got a hold of me and was like, "Hey man, come out and hang out, have a beer, smoke a little bit with me, let's chill."
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very talented guitar player. And we were spitballing about an idea of doing something, not more of the metal style, but something that still punches. And
Right.
he knew a bass player who is now known, killed it on guitar. I had a very close relationship with Killface shortly after, and that's how I was presented with coming into Seidel and
Right.
doing their recordings for their last two albums. And I ended up talking to a vocalist by the name of Logan, who was in a band called, oh man, I am forgetting their name. Oh man, I'm sorry guys, but Animated Truculence, there we go. They had a song that really popped off back in the day, theme song called Leather Tits.
What's that about?
Nice.
Oh, I will make sure to ask them
about
for
it.
the lyrics. Yeah, Logan, you did good on that one, buddy. But yeah, we had him on vocals for the last little bit of Octave, and then shortly after that, we disbanded, and I was just kind of everywhere at that time. People were like, "Hey, you're really good. Why don't you come play?" I've played everything from.
Did you play with Vision Scarred?
I played with Vision Scarred for a little
They're
bit.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are cool.
Those guys are really cool. I also did more of a classic rock kind of setting and played with a band called Cadillac Ranchers for a
I
little
know
bit.
those guys, yeah.
So I jammed pretty much all over the place from
So like a
rap,
lot of us, you're a
classic
musical
rock.
whore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am a musical
Slut.
slut. I'm just, anyway,
Nice.
That's when you're not playing.
yeah, that's when I'm not playing. Yeah, you'll know when I got the blast beats coming because I'm not even using my hands, and you're just like, how's he doing? Oh wait.
You ever been playing like a country show and you just want to bust that out right quick? And no one's looking, there's like a banjo solo. And we go,
Yeah, I've done it before. Cadillac Ranchers, I'm sorry for butchering that one song. Yeah, I'm sorry. I felt
Beautiful.
it. Felt it. But yeah, so shortly after that, Joe, the previous drummer for Seidel when they started, he left shortly before their first album, and then that's when they contacted me and said, "Hey, we're really interested on having you come out. Killa and Trey want you to come out and jam because we know your style and we think it'll fit." And did a couple of rehearsals, and then that's when they were like, "Okay, you are definitely definized as a music core, and you know our stuff, so we want you to come in, learn our stuff within a month and a half, and then we're gonna go record."
cool.
Spread our music on your
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Oh,
So luckily for me, I mean, we fit very well. I talked to the previous band members. They were like, "Yeah, go for it." They had their blessings, and I went in and kind of learned the previous style and added my own flair to it. And let me think. I think I was with Seidel for a little over 4.5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, we were pretty tight line up there, and we did make our staple here. Whether you loved us or hate us, we were there. We did our shows. We had our style. We had our image. Definitely had bands that we were influenced on.
Yeah.
And that's how I connected with these guys, because not only am I a new metal fan, but my heart lies with deathcore. I'm
Okay.
a huge deathcore fan. So getting with these guys, I know they have more of a heavier aspect. So I'm able to
Hold
kind of.
on, we already said we can't say heavier.
Yeah. Well, we have a heavier aspect to us, more faster pace than a lot
Faster.
of recitals. Yeah.
I think faster.
Faster is a
Definitely.
good word for us.
Yeah.
Intense.
Yeah.
More.
More
Instead of-
Shiloh's legs getting really tired
Yeah.
from playing. No
Yeah.
bass the whole
Exactly.
Right.
And then I got with them to do the little final legacidal, and then that split off, and we decided to go one way. Jeff went his way, and all still connected and been promoting shows, and we did a couple of shows with Jeff.
Yeah.
And that's how we got our little plug out there, and since then we have done quite a bit. We got this single that we're going to be debuting, and we got a couple of more surprises that we might mention later on today.
Car, fucking A. All right. That's Kenny. How long you been playing? When did you get your start? You know, you told me a little bit about the older band, but like how old were you kind of when you got started doing all this?
I'm more of
When the bug bit you.
I'm more of a jack of all trades and a master of none. Like I started singing in elementary school though. I was mainly in choir
Oh, shit,
all
huh?
throughout school up until once I dropped out of high school. It obviously stopped. You know, I was more into smoking weed.
Yeah.
My gave a shit kind of left, and you always sing. You know, no matter what I do, I listen to music like fucking crazy, but I always sing along with the shit. But it took Rob getting my fucking sauce in gear just to actually no. When I was in Nothing in Vain, I was fucking around with some of Trevor's guitars. I remember his Dean Cadillac, and I fell in love with that guitar, and I always wanted to play it. I didn't even know how to play, but then he gave me this book. No, I'm sorry, he didn't give me that book. I bought it at a garage sale, and it was just a book of notes, you know, fretwork and stuff like that. And I read through it, and he had this piece of shit. I don't even remember what it was. That's some cheap ass guitar, and I kept it with me, you know, playing with this little tiny little amp. And then when I met Rob, you know, he started getting me more into it. And then I finally went out and bought my first guitar, which was a BC Rich Warlock.
Oh no shit, huh?
Warlock.
Yeah.
I think we've all had one of those.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
His
you gotta
was
have
really
it.
nice though.
It was set
They
up.
upgraded somebody upgraded the pickups in that guitar.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
And oh yeah, it was the finger action on it was a little higher than I wanted it, but it was a good guitar.
That's
And I
what she
wish I
said.
still had it, but you know. Finger
Sorry.
action's a little high. But no, Rob's really been my inspiration and my teacher. You know, I was more interested in playing rhythm guitar. For bass. Actually, he didn't even ask me that. He just kind of sat me down.
Here's a bass.
Do this. See if you can do this.
Yeah.
And so I did. He's like, "Are you fucking serious?" And
In my defense, he's a really good slap bass player.
Yes.
He picked it up super
Yes.
fast. And I have played with other musicians that have played bass for way longer than him.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to play with him just because he just has the right vibe and tone
I don't try too
for
hard.
what we're doing.
I don't try too
He's
hard. I just,
awesome
Man.
slap
just
bass.
try a little.
I know those motherfuckers that do try too hard.
See, technically he doesn't have to,
And
because I agree with
Yeah.
Rob. And on this track that will debut tonight, I mean, this bass slaps, bro. So I'm happy
Yeah.
with
It's
it.
just
I think
something
it's
in the
phenomenal,
wrist.
man.
Maybe it's all that
There you go.
masturbation.
Yeah.
Been lonely for a long time. I need to expel some energy.
The boy's got strong forearms.
Well, that's a pretty good segue. I tell you what, guys, we're going to take a short break, hear a few words from some of our sponsors, and we'll be back. And we're going to hear a new song from Corrosive Wrath called Soul Prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as promised, this is going to be the internet release of a brand new song from Corrosive Wrath. And we're going to shout out to Still Austin Whiskey for this cast strength. So, without further ado, gentlemen, congratulations on the new song.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother. Cheers.
And this is Soul Prison.
So tell me, what is the meaning of life? It ends. Shut
Holy shit,
Holy shit.
friends.
Dude,
You like that?
that was brutal. That was amazing.
Wow.
The production, like we were talking about that production was fucking
Cheers, guys.
ridiculous.
Cheers.
Thank you very
And
much.
you know, man, like
that means a lot.
You hear, I mean, your studio, I guess. You go somewhere.
It's
The psych ward sect.
it's our it's yeah. I mean, it's all
Psych ward.
my recording equipment. It's really super low key and low budget. I don't have a whole lot
Yeah.
other than a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what a lot of people are lacking.
Right.
They think that they can just buy as much equipment as possible and that's going to make them sound good.
No.
Whereas I have tried to scale it down as much as possible
Yeah.
and use my know-how to get that sound.
That's you know, I may be hitting you up for some production assistance because we're going to start recording some stuff in here on this rig. I've got a virtual
appreciate
mixer
that.
and all this other shit. And
I would love to help
what
you guys
what'd
out.
you use to record with? Like what your DAW? What did you use for that?
I'm using Reaper.
really?
I'm actually using an older version of Reaper. I'm not even using the most updated version of Reaper
Yeah.
because I got comfortable with that DAW
Yeah.
and just kind of stuck with it. The newer updates, I'm sure I could adapt to, but I'm like lazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm using like an old version of Reaper and Scarlett. What is it? 18.
You get the i20?
Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I was looking
See
at
what
one of
I mean?
those, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not really much of a gearhead.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more of a
Yeah. Well, I mean,
learn
Well,
the
yeah, and,
knowledge,
like,
understand what
yeah.
you're doing.
Technology
rather
at this point in audio engineering has advanced so much that
Very
it really
hard to
comes
keep
down
up.
to you can half of the things that I recorded were just on the 2-channel Audio Technica,
Yeah.
and you just demo everything out, and then
Yeah.
if you just know what you're doing as far as EQing and all that,
Yep.
and so
Exactly.
it comes down to more having the knowledge of just spending years making music and producing. You really don't need a whole lot of stuff. You can
Yeah,
just
sure.
make do.
No.
I mean, that is true because
Enough
I see a lot of
mics.
the hip hop guys do it around
Yeah.
here. A lot of the rap scene does their own production.
yeah.
Enough
dude,
mics to record,
Yeah,
for
enough
metal,
to-
enough mics to record a whole drum set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
That's it,
interface
really.
and the guitars.
And
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
maybe
I
a
mean,
mic
that's
up
really-
an amp or something.
That's how we do it. So like when we track a drum track, we set a click, everything goes to that X-Air, and it's just Parlo and I, and then we work the drum tracks out, and then we'll massage it a little bit, and then I go back and retrack the guitars. But getting the drums is the fucking hardest part,
And it's the bass
the first
of it.
part,
Yeah.
For sure.
and everything revolves around that, and it just that
Yeah.
was so fucking tight, dude.
Yeah.
If this dipshit can play all that, that'll be fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. No, it's fucking. He plays it all.
Yeah.
I when we demo songs out, I have the idea in my head of the guitars and
Yeah.
maybe some vocal stuff, and I'll basically record that at home, and I'll throw a drum machine beat to it, and I'm actually a really good drummer in my head.
Yeah.
I can't translate that,
is,
but
though.
I mean, in my head, as far as understanding the theory behind the percussion and
Yeah.
timing and all that stuff, I'm really good with that. So I'll program just a rough idea, and then I show it to these guys, and then they take it, and
Yeah, it makes a
he
fucking masterpiece.
he
I
makes it a
totally
million
take
times
it, and I
better.
take it hard, no lube, because this guy's been putting me to work.
Well, and the big
Right.
and he says that because the big thing is I do a lot where my right hand, my picking hand, is tight with the kick drum,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and you'll hear that on that
Yeah.
track, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of that. My picking hand's fast, so I give him a rough idea, and I'm like, it's like this, and it's you know, and he's like, I think I can do that,
And
and
as-
then he does it,
Yeah.
and then he does it every time,
And as
then,
a drummer,
and then he
I-
adds better rolls too and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And as a drummer, I've never been lost.
Yeah.
So I always play by ear.
Yeah.
I've always been that drummer that can put in some in-ears and then just go to town on a track and then add my own flair to it. And I think, me personally, that's why I clicked with Seidel so much. I've played with those guys before in other bands.
Mm-hmm.
They brought me into that. I vibed on the style. I knew what they wanted to do. And then Jeff had his own swing on things. And when we got together and rehearsed, it just there it was. They were
feels
like,
good.
okay, yeah,
It feels
Jam
good.
it
session
feels
is
great,
just
man.
heat.
And then I came along and I was like, okay, do that, but like with like way faster double bass.
So how many
Yeah.
songs?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a full length album, or is it do an EP release, waterfall release? How are you doing
It's
it?
just an EP.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
We
we
kind
haven't-
of
we've
were
been
talking
talking
about doing just a single for this one, dropping this as a single, and then hitting the studio and trying to maybe do an EP, 3 to 5
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah,
something like that.
hitting a different studio, or are you doing it?
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I was going to say, you
I'm
know,
gonna do
We're
it.
doing.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, you
We're
wanna
gonna
match
hit
it up?
our studio.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
man.
And we've already got
You know,
a lot
Rob.
of. We've already got we've got like 7 or 8 completed
About 8 tracks
songs
that we've been
that we've
working
got
on.
already demos for.
Yeah.
So we've already got like the structure and like the timing all into Reaper.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and we can actually play these songs
And then-
live. We're
yeah.
just not so tight on all of them, but yeah, definitely album worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
'cause-
so we're gonna probably pick and choose from there. But also I've got like 5 songs now
Yeah.
that these guys haven't even touched. I'll pump them out. I go home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Knock a few back, and I'm
Takes
like,
shit.
hey,
Well,
here's,
it's-
hey, here's
it's-
another song, guys, and they're just like,
So, when are you going to start trolling for labels and shit like that? I mean, have you put any thought into that?
we have not even discussed
Yeah.
that.
Technically
at
on
all
our own
yet.
label.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah,
We're with,
kinda.
Kind of
Killer
our own
Cult.
thing.
I mean,
fucking
yeah,
Cult.
like Psych Ward Sect is kind of our, not really a label, but kind of like our
This-
collective kind
Yeah.
of thing that we're trying to do, and I would like to get more bands in to record with me rather than us go to a studio.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you interested at all in being like in a label, or do you want to
Maybe,
keep it DIY?
I mean,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
it would have to be the right situation, because like the whole reason that I started getting into recording was kind of because I would go to a studio and I would never be satisfied. It didn't come out the way I really wanted it. So it would have to kind of be the right situation, you know? I mean, if we were to find a label that didn't want to try to force us into anything or like push us
No.
into, you have to go record
Right.
with this guy.
Like
this
if a
is our
label
guy.
decided to like, because the thing I'm interested in as far as labels go is if labels have a lot more connections as far as distribution goes.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
outside of that, like creatively,
Oh, no, they
what
can't
do
touch
I
the
need
style.
them for?
Yeah.
They
And
can't touch
that's-
the style. They
yeah.
can't tell
And
us
that's
what
the
to do,
biggest
what not
thing.
to do.
I think
Yeah.
I think I speak for us all very much when I say that if we were to
Yeah.
try to work with a label, the minute that they came in and been like, oh no, you guys need to do a song that sounds like this band.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
We're gonna do what
Yeah,
the fuck we
Fuck out of
want.
here.
Right.
We're not gonna do that. Like never that. Like,
That's
yeah,
kind of what
just-
labels
yeah.
are doing now. And honestly,
I would hope so,
Like,
because that
so-
would be the smart business.
so
move.
the production that you've got, if everything else has that production quality on it, your label doesn't have any fucking thing to worry about. All they have to do is help you with distribution, use their connections, farm the shit out. You know, they want to fund a video.
Yeah,
If
some
they,
cool
if they want to recoup
shows.
cost on a video, then then they'll monetize
Yeah.
a video.
Push us in metal places.
Yeah.
You know, get
Sure.
a-
If it was that kind of situation, then yeah. But the minute anyone tries to step on us creatively, I think
It's gonna be out the door.
I won't be the biggest asshole in the room, which is a rare occurrence.
Haha, okay.
So what's
Believe it or not.
moving forward? So like, do you guys have any shows coming up that you know? I know you just played one a couple weeks ago.
We do that. We'll show up to the party.
But no, we've got a
Sweet, man.
show. I think our next show, we're talking about doing something October 22nd, actually at Leftwoods.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Nice.
We're talking about that. That's just barely in the works now. And then I've got a good buddy, JC, plays in a band called Trip out in Colorado, Trinidad, and they're talking about having us come and travel out there January 14th.
14th, yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
So
Your first out of town show, so that'd be really nice.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah, for
it's
us
funny
together,
because like
it'd be tight.
we've
I
been
like Trinidad too. That I mean, obviously, 30 fucking head shops. Not head shops, but
we've been like mostly trying to just like work on material and stuff, but we just keep having shows drop in our lap
Yeah.
over and over and over.
Well, that kind of sound, you're going to continue to do
A
that.
lot of good
Yeah,
connections.
for sure.
So you can
man.
start picking and choosing.
Thank
your
you
shows.
guys.
Yeah, I was
That
actually-
Hey,
means
we're
so
playing with
much.
these guys the 14th.
Yes,
Yes.
they're
Pathos and Logos. What's up, guys? Man,
Yeah.
these guys are
Where-
sick.
what is
man.
that?
They're going to be on that show in Trinidad
Yeah.
on
Hey,
January
14th.
I remember you
Really
guys.
cool guys.
wanted
Yeah,
to
dude.
Cool
Sport
guys.
that shit on the fucking camera.
That's funny. You know, a buddy of mine. It's a weird sidebar, but he's got a
One of
Countach
the
on the
few
front of
that they
that.
actually
Yeah.
still have.
Buddy of mine just painted.
Oh,
he just
yeah.
painted a
Hell yeah.
'91 Lamborghini Diablo
shit.
in Canyon, Texas.
Nice.
It looked like- that's a weird sidebar.
Nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm in the
Still,
hot rod scene
Lambos,
too.
yeah.
Right?
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
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 Hell yeah, baby.
We're about to buy
the
her car
Countach.
back here soon.
88
Yeah.
Countach.
79.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Yeah.
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 But yeah, we've got a couple shows coming up. We're trying to hole away into the studio and just like work on material and develop everything a little bit more. But we keep having shows drop in our lap. I feel like Amarillo is like a massively underrated music scene.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
It really is.
Talking about this every episode.
is.
Yeah.
the music
Yeah.
scene here is actually amazing.
Yeah.
To the point where like all the bands are overbooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's overbooked.
I'll argue
But there's-
that the Amarillo scene is better. I'll fucking say it. I have a camera on me. I think the Amarillo scene is better than Lubbock scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think Lubbock
Absolutely.
has some great
Yes.
musicians, but the scene
Great
in Amarillo
musicians.
Which is
Great-
crazy because they're
Great
closer to
musicians.
Dallas,
You
man.
would think
right?
so, man. Yeah.
Very talented musicians.
Yeah,
I have
totally.
so many great friends that
Yeah.
are out there in the Lubbock scene and great venues, but
Yeah.
no response.
We've got I-40. We've got I-40, bro.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
true.
got to look at
Yeah.
that. So many
Right,
people
coming
come
in.
Still waiting for someone to step up to
through
the
and see a
plate.
show and then dip out, and they're like, "Oh, did you hear these motherfuckers over in Amarillo?"
Yeah.
What?
I'm still waiting for
Amarillo by
someone
morning,
to
bro.
step up to the plate and start a Lubbock Rocks. You know, if you want to collaborate a
Yo.
little bit, you know, we need to
Just segue
do
that
some
over
do some
there,
do some
yeah.
show handoffs and shit like that.
There you go.
Well, fucking hey, guys. I think that's about our time. Again, guys, this is Corrosive Wrath. We're going to put links in the description.
Thank you, guys.
You know, Amarillo Rocks. Like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Check these guys out online. I don't know what's the release date that you're going to put it out on.
Not exactly sure yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Very
start talking to our distribution right after we're done here.
Who
So,
are you using like
literally.
DistroKid?
We're
or
probably
using-
using United Masters.
Okay.
Is
Never
it's
heard of
one
that
the-
one.
It's one of the smaller ones, but they apparently have really good customer service.
Okay. Yeah.
From what I'm
CD Babies is questionable at best, so you know.
Yeah. I've
And
heard about
they haven't
that.
done anything. We've had a song out on Touch Tunes for a fucking year now. I haven't seen a dime on it, and I know it's gotten thousands of plays because I see it. So you know,
Fucking touch tunes,
Okay.
yeah.
I want to know.
bro.
We got to talk later about how to get stuff
Yeah.
on Touch Tunes
Yeah.
too, because that's one of the things I really
I'll
want.
talk to the
I'll
guy
show
who
you all
owns
that.
it.
I might do a
And
tutorial
say,
on that
hey,
here pretty soon.
Sweet.
Yeah,
You'll have the touch tunes in your freaking bar.
yeah.
The guy that comes through, that owns that comes through, right?
The
Does he know?
jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt owns all those machines. Yeah.
He owns the machine. He
But-
doesn't necessarily own
It's
the
so
company.
Show up, though.
it goes through a network.
It
I'll
sounds
tell you
pretty
guys all about it.
bureaucratic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
All right, guys. Well, again, Corrosive Wrath. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hell yeah,
Man,
dude.
fucking awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you
Thank
guys
so
Hell
much.
yeah,
doing the
totally.
release. Again, that song was called Soul Prison. It's going to be out pretty soon. Let me know when you put it out so that I don't get zapped on my sync licensing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We also, real quick, we also have a video coming out very soon as
For
well.
that.
For that song?
For that
Okay.
song. So we filmed it right next door in a pretty creepy little spot, and we're currently working on getting that edited.
Fucking hey,
and have
please,
that released too.
please let me know, man. We will
Yes, sir.
we will share that shit out because I want to see it. I want to tie into
Cool.
it. Okay.
Right on, man.
All right, guys. Well, you know the scoop. At Amarillo Rocks, here we say wipe front to back, clear your browser history, and go see some fucking live music.
Yes.
Sir.
Cheers.